Alrighty. Welcome, everyone, to the Maestro podcast. Welcome back to it. We are doing the second iteration of this show. It's going to be a very awesome night. Very information-filled of the world of technology and the industry surrounding it. So welcome in, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So we have a lot on the schedule for tonight. We're talking about AMD, Intel, Microsoft, Nintendo, a bunch of different stuff. We'll also be talking about just different opinions and stuff like that that I have about the tech industry and et cetera. So the first thing I want to talk about is outside. I hope that the power doesn't go out because it is currently raining and there is lightning. So you never know. You truly never know with internet and stuff like that. I live near a park and crap like that, so a tree could fall on the power line and all of my house power would be gone. Absolutely gone. It'd be a nightmare. I'd hate it. Really would hate it so much. But yes, let's get into it, shall we? So tonight, I wanted to start off with the words AMD. Now, we all know what AMD is. Advanced Micro Devices. A company that rivals NVIDIA and Intel. They go neck and neck with them. They are competitors on all fronts. Well, AMD is reviving a old processor, bringing it back as the 7000 series. Amazing. Okay. Threadripper. Imagine it. The Threadripper is coming back. The crazy thing about it is that I had just talked about this 2 days ago to a couple of friends, and I was like, oh, maybe I should buy a Threadripper. That would be a cool idea, right? Well, next thing you know, I noticed. I was like, that's interesting. AMD is releasing a 7000 series processor for Threadripper. Wild. I knew it was going to happen, but I just did not think after I said it that it was going to happen. I think this is a great idea on AMD's part. Okay? Threadripper is literally a Threadripper. The name sticks. AMD knows how to make that stuff go, right? AMD is here to kick them to where it hurts, But yes, the Threadripper is coming, and there is some details that are very much missing from my statement. AMD is targeting the professional workstations and high-end desktop PCs with its new Threadripper chips. Yes, that is so simple, but there's more. They're coming back with 2 brand new classes and 2 new chipsets. Amazing, right? We're stuck on TRX 40, the motherboard for the current Threadripper. This time around, we are going to have Pro series and a high-end desktop series. The Pro series is to be for the very top workstations for professionals. And there's a non-Pro series that's for HEDT, high-end desktops, which don't need the manageability features, the 8-channel memory, or the huge amounts of PCIe Gen 5 lanes. Gen 5! We're already there. Can't believe it. It's amazing to see. There's a lot that goes on to make Gen 5 and PCI stuff. Making 8-channel memory, that's amazing. I actually built my own server that has 2 processors in it, and it uses ECC memory, registered memory. Now that's another thing I wanted to talk about with this new Threadripper chip. It can only use registered ECC memory, not unbuffered DIMMs, your memory modules. The normal memory modules you put in your high-end desktop, like Corsair and DDR4, DDR5, stuff like that. It has to use server-grade memory because it's safer, I would say. It's a lot safer to use memory like that. Definitely for a server-grade system, high-end system. So back to the chips themselves. They are going, since there's 2 classes of these chips, that means that they're going to be based on the AMD Zen 4 architecture. Zen 4. We're already there. I have currently the 7800X in my rig. It's a nice processor. I also have a 3060 12 gig. And both of those combined make a great system. I'm able to run 3 monitors. Amazing. But both of these chips are going to be based on the Zen 4 architecture with access to the latest PCIe Gen 5 high-speed storage. Really fast stuff. Great to see. At the very top of the Threadripper Pro series is the 7995WX, which offers 96 cores. Can you even think about 96 cores? I can't. Personally, I can't. 96 cores is a lot. That just blows my mind. And it has 192 threads. That means it's going to be ripping through the competition, literally. It's got a max boost clock of 5.3 gigahertz. So think about your grandma's PC running at 3.9 gigahertz. And this thing's coming in here blasting through the competition. And it has up to 384 megabytes of L3 cache. That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you. And 128 PCIe Gen 5 lanes. Now that's just incredible. Incredible to see, incredible to hear. It's beautiful. But you might say, but Colby, what does this all cost? Well, the top tier costs $5,000. Yeah, that's right. Look into your pocket right now and you'll see no money after you bought that thing. You'll be crying for weeks. You'll say, I could have paid for something else, but I paid for a processor. That was your own fault. You shouldn't have done it. But I believe that these processors will change the world as we see it now. Being able to rip through the competition, faster load times, faster turn on time, stuff like that. It'd be really cool to see how fast it is when it runs a SolidWorks project, or even a Blender render or some other test. That's really cool. I would really want to see that. But AMD is also offering 6 Threadripper Pro chips with the entry-level 7945WX with only 12 cores and 24 threads. I shouldn't say only, because 12 cores is a lot. Okay? I grew up in a time when there was no such thing as 12 cores. It was 4 and 2. I grew up in an era where it was dual core or just single core. You know, the Intel Core 2 Duo was the processor out when I was around. So I know all about it. But yes, there's so many different things. Truthfully, there's so many different AMD processors in the Threadripper series coming out soon. And with the high-end desktop versions of these chips, they're a more realistic option, and it's good for anyone working in design, manufacturing, architecture, and engineering. So if you're interested, you can shell out the $5,000, multiplied by 10, 5,000. You know, because the 7980X, which is $5,000, offers 64 cores and 128 threads. That is a lot when it comes to a processor. A boost clock of 5.1 gigahertz and a total of 320 megabytes cache. Amazing to see. So it also has a 350 watt thermal design power. Great. Lots of power. That's 350 watts. That's a lot. And then they'll have the 7970X, which will be $2,500. 32 cores, 5.3 gigahertz, 160 megabytes of cache, and 350 watts, as the same as the other one, thermal design power. And the 7960X, which will be 24 cores, $1,500, 5.3 gigahertz boost, 152 megabytes cache, and 320 watts of TDP. Now, if that doesn't make you happy, I don't know what will. I love technology. Technology is so cool. Okay? Have loved it ever since I was a child. A baby even. Okay? But just to see how far we have come in 21 years is life-changing. Literally life-changing. I mean, there's nothing cooler than that, honestly. Being able to see how much the industry changes. You know, graphics cards when I was a kid was not really a big thing. Okay, and not everyone was going out and buying a graphics card. StarCraft 2 was not out. You know, all these games were not out when I was a kid. Half-Life was. You could run that on, you know, just your CPU, your integrated graphics. They were okay at the time. And then once about 2007, I believe, came around, graphics cards became a big thing. You know, I never bought one until I was 18, 17, something like that. Really, really fascinating stuff. But if you're thinking about buying a new Threadripper for your workstation, like I said, only supports registered memory. So server grade. It's going to be more expensive. So you can't buy the cheap stuff. Nope, doesn't work like that. And there's two new motherboards, the WRX 90 and the TRX 50. The TRX 50 is for the high-end desktop platform, It does not support Pro manageability. It's only got 4 channels of memory, 92 PCI bus lanes, Gen 5, overclocking enabled, and has support for both Pro and high-end desktop use for processors. The WRX 90, though, supports all the bells and whistles. Pro manageability, 128 PCIe Gen 5 lanes, or 192. 8-channel memory. Think about that. Octo-channel memory. 8 slots. Bam, 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 bam. Wow. That sounds so yummy. I could just eat it for breakfast. That sounds so good. It's literally making my knees hurt so bad. It's got overclocking, and it's only Pro only processors. So you got to buy the Pro series in order to use the WRX 90. That's okay. So if you're really wanting to buy one of these processors, they come out November 21st of this year. It'll be very great to see performance benchmarks and gaming aspects run on this processor alone. Really cool to see. I'm excited. I'm just shaking, I'm telling you. It might not look like it, but I'm interested. I'm really interested in seeing what this does. I've had a love for technology ever since I was a kid, and times have definitely changed. Okay, AI is here. AI was not even a glimpse in our little eye when I was a child. Okay, it was just not. It just wasn't a idea. It just wasn't. And with that, I actually do have some stuff in the works. I am making a new video coming soon in the next 2 days. So check it out. Get subscribed just for that and many other things that we have planned. But there's a lot going on. Let me just tell you that. Everything is starting to come back all over again. Okay? We are getting to work all over again. It's really cool to see. I'm excited for the future, but I'm not excited for AI. Because there are some things that AI can't do, or AI will infiltrate data security. I can see it now. It will definitely do something bad. It will definitely have a screw up, just like humans do. We all have our screw up, and AI will have the one screw up, and it will never be existing ever again. A lot of people are against AI. So it's a really hard field to look at. And with that, our next topic, this is a little side topic. I thought this was really cool to talk about, bring this up, because I have a grandfather who has trouble hearing. Both of them actually have trouble hearing. And, people as they get older, their hearing starts to suffer, depending on the person and what they've done. But you know, being old and not being able to hear has its downsides, so you have to have hearing aids. Well, Microsoft is started to implement support for hearing aids on Windows 11. Now, if that's not a great thing to hear, I don't know what is. Reading from this article from The Verge, we see that Windows 11 will soon let users with hearing aids take calls, listen to music, and stream audio from their PCs. Microsoft announced on Wednesday. This new insider preview build, 25977, now supports hearing aids equipped with Bluetooth LE audio technology, Microsoft revealed. It will allow people to pair their hearing aids with Windows 11 PCs. That's great because a lot of old people use computers, okay? I have dealt with a lot of older people when they came into the place of where I worked, a computer repair shop, and a lot of them were just, some of them were hard to deal with, and then the other ones were nice and sweet and really understood what I was talking about. I explained it to them very simply. But the feature is currently only available on select Windows devices with Bluetooth LE audio support. So there's only a certain few of devices that actually use this technology. But it'd be very nice to see support on a wide variety of products that use this audio technology so that people who have hearing aids can be able to do stuff like normal people. You know, be able to hear, all that stuff. You know, it's got to be hard not being able to hear. And so that would be great to see. It would really change the game. Since the hearing aids market has grown exponentially in the last 2-3 years. It's really boomed out of nowhere. I can't tell you how much it's boomed. You know, but the hearing aids are so expensive. I can just reassure you that they are very expensive. They're at least $3,000, $5,000, somewhere in that ballpark. I can tell you that much. But yes, this would be a great thing to see over time. It adds more capabilities for hearing aids over time, such as the ability to control audio presets within Windows. So being able to customize your hearing aids and stuff like that, really, really special. They said that they would also try and use the LC3 audio codec, not LC3 the programming, which I hold dearly to my heart. But the LC3 audio codec, there's a hair on me, which makes it possible to deliver high audio quality while conserving battery power. That is amazing. I love the sound of that. Really, really cool. The hearing aid tech has increasingly attracted the attention of major companies in recent years. Sony, of all people, launched a self-fitting hearing aid with WS Audiology. Amazing. And Apple could be exploring the position of AirPods as hearing aids. So that's really cool. They had actually have an app for Live Listen, which is supposed to be the beta for the hearing aids. So really excited to see that as well. The company also announced that users will receive notifications when an app attempts to access their location or Wi-Fi information. So that's for the insider build. So if you're interested, you can join the insider build preview as an insider tech enthusiast with Microsoft and download either a secure version of Windows 11 or 12 or whatever you want to download, a stable version, whatever. But I think it's really cool though. Being able to help someone with hearing aids, someone with hard of hearing. It gets really annoying sometimes, I will admit this, when you speak to someone who has hearing problems and they just cannot hear you for the life of them. They think they understand what you're saying, but they don't. And they can be stubborn. And it's really annoying because then they don't understand what you're talking about. You can lose conversation and it's a train wreck. But with how the way the hearing aid market is going, it's amazing to see that technology is being used properly and people are getting help with their hearing loss. Really amazing stuff to see. I'm excited for the future in hearing aids and technology everywhere. And with that, there is something that really hits home. Wi-Fi. Now, let me just tell you, being the only technical person in the family, being able to know exactly what's wrong and to diagnose all technical needs around the house and such, Wi-Fi is a major importance. My mother watches Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and all that stuff every night, even to go to sleep. But, the Wi-Fi could act up and she will say, oh, I need help with this, I need help with this. That can be annoying, but it's okay because I am there to help. And so, with what I've heard about Wi-Fi 7, this will fix all of those, oh, I need help, I need help. So, if it could do that, hey, I'm astounded. And I'm amazed. So bring it on, baby. I'm excited for the future. And so with that, let's talk about Wi-Fi 7, shall we? Let's talk about Wi-Fi 7. Wi-Fi 7 is going to have even bigger speeds, a bigger speed boost than Wi-Fi 6E had, thanks in part to the wide open spaces of the 6 gigahertz band that Wi-Fi 6E unlocked. They're also supposed to deploy other tricks for speeding things up and bring new ways to cut through interference and drop the latency of your network. Now, the weird thing about what I just said is that Wi-Fi 6 and 6E were supposed to handle this already, but they didn't. And it's not the company's fault, per se. It's only the... it's not necessarily the company's fault. The technology community, the committee, and such, it's more of everyone else's fault. Not mine. So, what I think is a problem in today's society for Wi-Fi is that Wi-Fi cuts out. I go to college, and I'm sitting there in class, and the Wi-Fi is so god-awful. It's because there's so many people on it. There's so many different transmissions going through so many different communications floating through the air, and it messes it up. So I could barely even get 1 bar. So Wi-Fi 7 should fix all these problems. They say that Wi-Fi 7 should be backwards compatible with all your older stuff so you can run it perfectly. So that's amazing news. But let's talk about what it is first. So we could think of Wi-Fi 7 as being to Wi-Fi 6 what Wi-Fi 6E, what Wi-Fi 6 was to Wi-Fi 5. That was a lot of words. So what does that mean? It still operates on a 2.4 gigahertz band, 5 gigahertz band, and a 6 gigahertz band, like Wi-Fi 6E. But improves things by offering more potential bandwidth, faster downloads, bundling connections across bands, faster downloads, and more stability, and using more signal modulation tricks for dealing with congestion. Now, there is a lot of congestion in Wi-Fi 6 and 6E. We know this. We've seen it. It's not the greatest thing. Okay? It's just not. Right? It's never been the greatest thing. But now we can deal with this in Wi-Fi 7. Now think about this. 4K footage. 4K footage. Cool, right? Not this camera though. 4K footage. 4K videos. Being able to send that somewhere else. You're like, oh yeah, that's perfect, right? Wow, look at that, 4K. Amazing. It is. But what if you could stream 8K footage with less congestion and compressed and all that stuff? Wi-Fi 7 can do it. They suspect that Wi-Fi 7 can run 8K footage. I don't even have an 8K TV, let alone a graphics card that can output 8K. Okay? I'm not that fancy. Right. I would love an 8K TV just to see what it looks like. It's going to look the same darn thing as a 4K TV. But according to Intel, a typical Wi-Fi 7 laptop could hit a potential maximum of nearly 5.8 gigabits per second. Do you know how fast 5.8 gigabits per second is? That's like loading a Steam game in like 2/3 the time. Halo Infinite downloads, wham, done in like an hour, 2 hours. Amazing. That's theoretical, but even hitting half of that number would be extravagant for most home people and people in business. Really, really exponential stuff. Surprising stuff, happy stuff. And what makes it faster for the most part is channel bandwidth, or the size of the pipe that data is shoved through. Wi-Fi 7 doubles the maximum channel bandwidth to 320 megahertz, compared to the 160 megahertz you might get from a Wi-Fi 5, 6, and 6E router. It fits a lot more data. It's pretty straightforward, although only the 6 gigahertz band supports those big channels. There's not enough room for the 5 gigahertz band. The new spec also supports combining bands into a single connection, with a feature called multi-link operation, MLO. Remember this. As a rough exercise, that means if you can download a file at, let's say, 1 gigabit per second on the 6 gigahertz band and on the 5 gigahertz band at 700 megabits per second, combining the two could get you up to a 1.7 gigabits per second. It also means that if one of those connections stops working, for some reason, your device can just fall back to the other one. So it's managing the process really, really smoothly. I am so glad to see that if it actually does what they promise. I would be so happy to see that. How well this works in practice remains to be seen when we get to test Wi-Fi 7 routers and devices together. Wi-Fi 7 also doubles at the number of MIMO spatial streams, the simultaneous streams to and from other devices. This is a cool idea to see. Wi-Fi 7 supports 16 by 16, so it's 16 antennas talks to 16 devices, or one device talks to 16 devices. No, 16, one device to 16 antennas. So these things are going to be pricey. I think we should already know this. Very pricey. It's going to change the way we think about smart homes too, because smart homes run on Wi-Fi 5, right? And Wi-Fi 5 is slow. Okay, it's really slow. So Wi-Fi 7 will fix everything. But I don't know if it'll be backwards compatible all in all with your Nest temperature monitor thingy, whatever it's called, the home sensor, due to the OFDMA. It isn't backwards compatible with older devices. So when the router encounters a smart home device that only uses Wi-Fi 4, it meets that device on its own terms using that standard's capabilities. So everything else is back to waiting in line. So not so good. Not happy to hear that. But what good is it for? It's good for mesh systems. Being able to switch freely between bands, leading to no apparent connection loss. So that's really cool. Less lag. And what is the outcome of all of this, what I've just said? Well, the Wi-Fi 7 standard has not been approved by the IEEE just yet, so routers available before then could be missing key features or optimizations because the IEEE knows exactly what it needs. There's not a lot of things that go on, but they need some features like double channel bandwidth, offer concrete knowable benefits. That's just what it happens. And they say that the EroMax 7 mesh system, for example, is expected to be priced just at $1,700. $1,700 for a mesh system? You've got to be crazy or out of your freaking mind. There's no way I'm paying $1,700 for a mesh system. You've got to be joking with yourself. Or me, for that matter. But anyways, Wi-Fi 7's coming. We know it. I'm not entirely for it just yet. It hasn't been approved by the IEEE, so once it is, I might accept it. And once the price for it comes down, I might accept it as well. So, that's just what happens. That's Wi-Fi 7 for you. Now, a little tidbit, a little interesting fact that I just saw a little bit this morning was Corsair. Yes, Corsair. They're making a standing desk. A modular standing desk at that. They are making a standing desk that has a shelf. So you can hang up your keyboard, your headphones, your mouse, your coat, your jacket, your lights, everything. It's got all the bells and whistles. Cool. But this thing is weird. It's wood grain too. I like wood grain. Wood grain is nice. It's got a lot of different spaces for keeping things nice and tidy, cable management. It also has movable power strips included with Type A and Type C charging coming ready for all your devices, both big and small. You can check it out at Corsair.com and see it there. Not a sponsor, but hey, bring it on. They also have a rail system at the back of the desk, which is ideal for mounting meeting or streaming gear such as cameras, lights, and microphones, and utilizes a universal standard aluminum T-channel crossbar for compatibility for hundreds of aftermarket attachments and accessories. And it has 2 monitor mounts for multi-monitor setups. So really cool. Really excited to see that. If any of you get one, I would love to see what it looks like. Today is the 20th of October, 2023, and a beautiful game has come out on Nintendo Switch called Super Mario Wonder, and it has thrown everyone into a loop because it is a joy of pure imagination. It is a game that has changed the way we think about video games. Mario games, at least. Beautiful. I am just so happy with the way that Nintendo makes their video games. You know, that Nintendo has been making video games for the last, oh my gosh, they've been making them for the last 40, 50 years. At this point, they've been making them for a long time. That's just what happens. But Nintendo has been making quality games for that long, and they haven't run out. And they keep bringing everything back to be better and better. So with Super Mario Wonder, I've heard that it's a very smashing success. Very cool side scroller. And there's all new things that come with this. Very cool. You know, everybody's in the game. Mario, Luigi, Toad, Princess Peach, Daisy, Toadette, Bowser, everyone. Kamek. Really cool. And the new voice actors for Mario and Luigi is in the game. And really cool. Can't wait to play it. Super Mario RPG comes out in November. The remake. Can't wait to see that. I'm excited as usual. Thought that'd be a nice little stray away from all the talking about the big stuff like Wi-Fi 7 and AMD and Microsoft. Thought that we'd talk about some Nintendo. Talking about Super Mario Wonder, Super Mario RPG. A lot of games. You know, there's a lot of things that go on to make a perfect video game, and Nintendo must know what it is. Must know the secret formula to making a great game. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. Pokemon, though, the new DLC that came out for Pokemon Scarlet is just not that good. It's too slow for me. I'm not going to refund it. I'm just going to play through it and see what it's like. I just can't, though. Too much stuff on my mind. AMD again. We're going to talk about their RX 7900M. It's the most powerful mobile GPU yet. 1440p, not 4K. It can run some really fast stuff. 1825 megahertz up to 2090 megahertz. 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. 256-bit memory interface. 18 gigabits per second memory speed. And a bunch of other stuff. 180 watts of total graphics power. Amazing stuff. and it's going to be integrated with the Ryzen 7 and the Ryzen 9 7945HX processor built into the Alienware laptops, because Alienware is shoving it out first. So, whoop-de-doo. But I'm excited for whatever they have. Really excited. Very, 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 very excited. Next podcast, I'm going to try and not rush it. I think. Gonna try and not rush it. Because I'm standing at the moment on my standing desk, or at my standing desk, and you know, I feel like I need to come in and feel more prepared. I was prepared tonight, but I feel like I need to be even more prepared. This is like an OCD thing, you know. OCD just gets the better of me. It always does. That's just not it, bro. My foot was hurting. Darn foot. Come on now. Come on now. But yes. So there's a lot that's going to go on with AMD and Corsair and Nintendo and stuff like that. Nintendo, AI and Neo actually made a Nintendo-like clamshell as well. A dual-screen handheld PC that runs a Ryzen 7 7840H, or U, a 40U. A flagship Windows gaming handheld processor. Amazing. It's gonna look really cool. It's got another display on the bottom in the controller, so really happy to see that. I am excited for a lot of things. I feel like in the next podcast we need to have all of our stuff prepared for even more. We need to take up the full hour, and I think I might even change the time. I might change the time to 7 p.m. to 8:30, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think that would be a better time for all of us, especially, yes, you at home. Just because I get tired around 9 o'clock. Can't help that, but that's just the way my life runs. I just thought I saw a bug on my screen. But yes. So yes, I am very excited for the future. Very excited to see what will happen in the future. Oh yeah, I also got my iPhone 15 Pro, by the way. Very cool phone. The camera is amazing. It's really fast, so I'm excited about that. The Switch 2 is coming. And I am exhausted, so I hate Mexican food. I can't eat Mexican food properly anymore because of my stomach. My stomach just kills me every time I eat Mexican food. I cannot help that. It's just bad genes, I guess. But with that, this is the closure of the second episode of the Maestro Show, the MLT Show, My Love for Technology Show, the MLT Show, the MLT Show. So thank you all for joining me on the second episode, and I'll see you in the next one, next Friday. Have a blessed night and a peaceful one.